What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? Man, I've been waiting to do that for a long time. It's your boy SPG, and today, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Cloudy Game Reviews. It's episode 2, and we have a wonderful game to discuss today. It is the none other than the Spiritfarer. Let's go ahead and bring out a couple of our fabulous hosts, Mayne and Purple. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I am doing wonderful, man.
This is a good one.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ray. So good to see him in chat, bro.
Absolutely, man. Ray just had a fabulous vacation, and he got home and found out he's got COVID. So sorry to hear that, Ray, but we hope you feel better, my friend.
Please do, man. Take care of yourself and your family, and we look forward to seeing you soon, man.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to Cloudy Game Reviews. Today, we're going to be discussing the Spiritfarer, and I'm going to let Mayne and Purple just go ahead and run with it, because I don't know much about this game, so I'm going to be educated along with the rest of you. What is up, guys, man? What's up with this game?
Purple, please, because this is something we've talked about behind the scenes.
Well, you just recently got it, so I'm
Okay.
pretty deep in lo-fi as well. I'm pretty deep. I have like the fan art, I have the vinyl. I talked to a few other creators, so like.
Okay, so I will say that just initially, this is an experience that I really enjoy. I'm not as deep into the game, but it's a game that that is really important and special in a lot of ways, and I can't wait to talk about it, because it's something that I think it's not done as often, I believe, in games, especially the subject matter, and it does a really great job of the presentation, the gameplay, and just telling the story about loss and coping. It's a lot of different, like, I guess you could say, different topics and different things and stages that come with this game, or that are involved in this game. And Spiritfarer is just, it's a lot of things. It's beautiful, it's poignant, it's heartwarming, it has some RPG elements to it. There's some sim and base building mechanics to it. There's so many different things, but on a base level, it makes you smile in a lot of ways. And it really makes you think about the people that are important to you and what it means to, in a lot of ways, be there for somebody in their time of need.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, for those of you who haven't heard of Spiritfarer, they say it's an action platform, construction management simulation. Yeah. It's got a lot of aspects to it, man. It's a really cool game. I mean, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the description, guys. So if anybody hasn't played it before or seen it before, their description is Spiritfarer is a cozy management game about dying. As ferrymaster to the deceased, you build a boat and you explore the world. You care for your spirit friends and release them into the afterlife. So that's what the game's about, basically.
So you're literally a Spiritfarer. You're ferrying these spirits over to the other side.
Literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So just a question. So when you start the game, are you on your journey to the other side? Is that the premise, or are you? Go ahead.
Yeah, so you start the game and you are basically tasked. You're taking over for the prior Spiritfarer, right? You're taking over for it's a guy, and you're playing as a girl. And you're basically encountering spirits that I don't want to ruin anything, but you're just kind of encountering spirits in the world. And so so that's the base of the game, right? Like this idea that you go find spirits, you then take them to the afterlife, and kind of the mechanics of the game, as people have said, are a mixture of management simulations. So think Little Big Workshop, think Merrick's Market, think of City Skyline,
like Time on Frog Island, kind of a little.
Time on Frog Island's a little, I guess, on a way, but I would say probably the biggest one is Little Big Workshop, where you kind of have that multiple management things going on. You have to do in order to do Y, you need to do 1, 2, 3 plus ABC, and then go over here. You know, like
Another game that actually comes to mind also, I don't know if you guys have played it, but a game called Cozy Cove. Have you heard of
Never
that
played.
game?
No, no.
It's similar to that. Just hearing you speak about what the mechanics are is another game that's similar to that.
So yeah.
So it's funny in the description it says Spiritfarer is a cozy management game, because that's what, without even reading the descriptions, that's what I've been calling these types of games. Is like they're like a cozy game. Like you're gonna wrap up, spend your time with it.
Well, I think what I'm hearing from you guys that I'm not hearing in the description is the massive heart this game has.
Oh,
Yes.
No.
yeah.
So it has a lot, and it also has platforming elements. I want to
Mhm.
like that is
Yeah, right.
A lot of things.
I wanted it. I know I talked about management simulation, but there is a platforming element to it that is not overly punishing, not overly hard, but does add a little bit of, for people who play management simulations and find that interesting. There's this other platform element that happens, but so that's to start the game, but what I think we're like kind of glossing over, and what the description kind of glosses over, that I want to reiterate, because and you'll read this in in the review. It is a game about death. It is a game about dying. It is a game about saying goodbye, and that it is a, so at the heart of it, it's somewhat of a serious subject matter. But the way they do it is just a wonderful experience, and having talked to some of the devs and seeing some of the fan letters that have come through this, and I'm just putting this out there for anyone who's dealing with it. I know a lot of the community is kind of middle-aged, kind of going, and you are kind of starting to experience death in your own personal lives, just like me. Like, no one teaches you about death. No one teaches you how to cope with death. You hopefully you have a loved one who's went through it, and they can help you go through that. But it doesn't happen, and so I think Spiritfarer does a really good job of just getting you to think about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what a balance to try to weave, with such strong and poignant subject matter like that. There's so many layers to death and grief and all of that stuff. I'm very excited to start this now. I think I'm going to purchase it after. I love those types of story-driven stuff, and I'm also a little bit of a platformer, just a little bit.
And I think it does really well to break up a lot of those other, I guess you could say, components of the game. Like, right. So for me, it was really awesome. There's some things that you can do on the boat that you have, and I won't go into detail to spoil it. But in addition to doing those things, to be able to introduce those platforming elements and that verticality, it breaks up a lot of different things. And at times, it kind of takes your mind off of what the game is about in a lot of ways, because for a second, right, you're jumping around, you're grabbing things, you're gathering, and all those different types of things. So it's a cool way to break up the actual meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the game, and allow you to say, hey, we understand what this game is about, but we've incorporated a couple of these things in the game that can take your mind off of that. You can have a reprieve, so to speak, from the sometimes, the subject matter of the game. And I think that's really, really cool that they added that in. And like Purple was saying, it's not over the top. It's not super punishing. And of course, because of the art style, right? It's very visually appealing, and it also adds to that cozy element to it. And so just to see the hand-drawn animations and, certain animations that you have, depending on what kind of platform or structure you're jumping on, it really is one of those games that if you don't smile on the outside, you'll definitely smile on the inside. For sure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it feels like, to me anyway, from playing it, it's one of those things where, like, it's a heavy subject, but it's not so heavy that it's like it gives you the feeling of like, yeah, they're dealing with death, but it's just another part of life. Like it's exactly, it's not too much.
Cycle.
Like, like a lot of parents will get their kids pets, so they'll learn about death, right? But then when your dog dies, they tell you that it ran away to a farm in the country.
Yeah.
But this game, This game totally, it's not too much like a little kid can play it, and it's good for any age. It doesn't matter what age you are. Honestly, it's a really cool game that way.
Here's a question for you, LoFi. Could you play it with your kid, and would it help in open
Yes.
those dialogues? You know.
Yes, as a matter of fact, your character has a companion that's a cat that follows you around, and it just does
Surprise,
just
a
follows
cat.
you around and does little stuff, right? But if you have a second controller, another person can control the cat.
Oh, interesting.
And actually, in some of the tasks, so and you'll learn this in the very beginning of the game. One of the tasks is to chop down a tree. So what we haven't talked about is like, so we keep saying management sim on this boat. Like what you're actually doing is the spirits have requests, right?
Yes.
They may say they want a house on your boat. They may say they want food. They may say something like that. And so what you're doing basically is doing these things for them.
And does this emotionally help them, or help them in a certain way to get them to?
Can we talk about that, Perp? The how the kind of like the management system in that regard too?
Like how it helps them, or how the management system works?
As far as like the sim elements, that part.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
we can talk about.
Sure, go for it.
So so first, let me get to like kind of more of a narrative standpoint that SVG brought up. Yeah, it does help them, right? Like, I mean, there's so much. If you're someone who's really into symbolism, and you're really into thinking about the deeper meaning of things, and you're ready to go like a level deep, spirit, everything in the game, every color in the game, every mechanic in the game is, when you look back, you realize why that was an important mechanic. But on the top layer, yes, you're helping them in their journey. But the mechanics of the game, to your point, Mayne, like the actual gameplay and like what you're trying to go do, is that what you're asking? Or is
Right, just yeah, I think because he was saying how to, if they need to be happy, and kind of like how the mood.
Oh my
and,
gosh, I
yeah.
totally, yeah. So the mood. Well, you brought it. I told you. Yeah, you're exactly right.
So go ahead, please. Go ahead. Take care.
So yeah, there is this idea of a mood. So like they may ask you something, and especially when they come on the boat, they have a mood like that. You can go look at their status, literally what you're doing, and it has like all the way from a beaming smile to a grumpy, unhappy face. And depending on if you like, just like you normally manage sims, like if you don't do right, like the customer, the game will let you know, like you're letting your village die or whatever. The spirits will let you know, and they have some sharp dialogue.
You're not a good Spiritfarer. Get out of here.
And what makes it kind of personal on another level is what's really unique about the game. All the spirits are actually inspired by real world people.
Oh wow! Now, is it based on people that the developers have lost in their own lives, or
so it's a mixture of them. So they're based on, so what Lotus, I'm forgetting the name of the developer at the moment. Thunder Lotus, what they actually did is they went to their workers and said like, hey, tell us your experiences with death. And so then they had a group there, and then the actual creative director, who, by the way, people are like, indies aren't like AAA. The creative director actually came from EA and Ubisoft, over 10 years of industry experience before going to the team at Thunder Lotus. And he spent time for about a year with people who knew they were going to die, and really understanding what that experience is. And these were people, some of them who had a diagnosis within a few days, to some people who had a few months, to some people who just knew they had a diagnosis that they were going to die. And to really kind of bring that emotion.
That had to take a toll on.
Oh, I could imagine. Yeah. Just the research, and then you get close to the people that you're researching, and yeah, man, I could just imagine.
Yeah. Oof. So he and then in the middle of it, he himself lost a very close relative. So it really brought home the idea, like crystallized the idea of like every phase of grief. But to say that to like kind of bring it, you also know, for those who have had a loved one who may have been in hospice care, who you may have lost or you were really close to, that loved one is still alive and kicking all the way to their last breath, right? And sometimes they say some things that you're trying to be nice, you're trying to do your best job, and you just realize that it's not cutting it. The spirits, if you don't go up and hug them, you don't go up and feed them, you don't go do the little task they're asking you to do in a timely manner, they will let you know. And
Most definitely.
So you don't want spirit mutiny now.
Guys, there's before this is off topic, guys, but there's a super chat raffle going on right now.
Yes.
I want to announce that it's extended to the end of August, but anyone who super chats from July 1st to the end of August on this channel will be entered into a drawing, and the drawing date is yet to be determined.
Yes, and for everybody that's in the chat that may not know, we're also giving away a $25 gift card. Hashtag CGR in the chat will enter you into win, and we would love to give it to you. So make sure you enter.
What is the prize for the super chat raffle?
I believe it is a Stadia Premier Edition.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yep. All you have to do is send in a super chat, and you'll be eligible to be entered into win. Or you will be. Not eligible. You will be entered into win.
Yeah, so super chat's alive.
Absolutely.
I wanted to touch on something that Purple did say. That is probably one of my most favorite things about the game. The hugging mechanic. I'm not much of a hugger.
Thank you. I was about to bring it up.
But there's something about you play the character that we play as her name is Stella, right? It's something about the way that Stella gives a hug. It looks like the best hug in the world. And not only that,
it's like a real hug. Yeah,
it's real, and it's coming from a place of like it's a real hug when you close your eyes, when you both close your eyes and hug.
Yeah, right.
It's that, right? And it's those moments where I'll come up, and that's all I was doing. Like, we talk about the management. I was just running around, just like, you need a hug, you need something to drink. I know you like coffee. Do you like coffee? Here's coffee. Hey, I know I made some shrimp. You want some shrimp? Like, that's what I was doing, just going back and forth and just checking on everybody. And that was the thing that I loved the most, just running up to somebody and just giving them just this big old hug. And it meant a lot to me just playing. Again, I'm not really a hugger, but it's just like seeing that and to see how it affects the mood of that you're on the ship. I'm on the boat with you and everything.
Shout out to Mostly Martinez. He just sent us a $1.99 super chat. Hugs to you all.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Yeah, back at you. That mechanic is really, really cool to me. And just the fact that they allow you to just to give a hug, like, what? You know what I mean? Like, it's just really, really awesome. It's an awesome thing. One of my favorite things in there. In addition to some of the other things, the music too. The things you can do music, I won't do it, but there's things about music that you could do in this game that just you got to check it out.
The one thing I will say about the hugs, just because you brought it up, and for anybody who has an appreciation for hugs, but also to LoFi, for you all who felt something about the hug, each hug was drawn differently in the game.
Really? Its own different animation?
Yeah,
dude, and the animation and art is amazing. Like, dude, they could make an animated series out of this, and it would be awesome.
It just the amount of detail in a hug that they did, you can just tell this is near and dear to the studio's heart. You really can. Yeah. I haven't even played it yet, and I could tell just by the way you guys are explaining it.
And I think that gets to the point I was saying earlier about every little detail in this game has been thought through, because what happens, let's use Merit's Market. Great fun game. You go in management simulation. But a lot, there's certain things he does, and the animation's kind of similar. He's hammering something or doing something, and it looks the same. Each action Stella does is different. Like, so that it's a different way, she cuts down wood. It's different than the way she cooks. It's different the way there's multiple gardens, and the way she handles those different gardens is different. And they all serve a purpose. that's I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil anything, but for you all who are, like I said, really into the details, really, what I like to think of it is like the people who can like go watch a Pixar movie again. They just don't want to see the story, but they want to like kind of like, okay, what did I miss? The people who like enjoy reading a book, even though they can read the cliff notes, you will enjoy this. Mayne said the best experience, because I don't even really think of it as a game anymore. I think of it as more of an experience, because it is meant to be experienced and not played. So, but yeah, I just want to give that for the people who are really into the sentimental portions of the game.
So, Mayne, what was your thoughts on the whole package of the whole game? Like, how does it compare to other games in its genre?
So I'll put it like this, and I mentioned this about another game that I've played, and I think Purple will understand where I'm going with this. Another game, Trek to Yomi, that I played. This game is one of those games where it's a great game to take a break from what you're currently doing. It's a good reset button game, because or a palate cleanser, I like to call them, because you may be playing shooters, you may be playing all these different games, right? But every now and then you need a game that you can play that just has no ties to any of those games, right? And it resets everything. It makes you think differently. It brings back your focus. It does a lot of different things at a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
This game is that. I can't even though it came out before Trek to Yomi, it's still like it sets that bar, in my opinion. It does a lot to, again, help you take your mind off of all of the other things that you've been playing and all the things you've been doing, and it really helps you focus in on what's more important in this game, and that is the feelings of loss, the feelings of all these different things that you experience in this game. You know, you have moments where you're happy, you have moments where you're angry, sad, all those stages, right? And it does a really good job, in addition to the story, just the visuals and the music. It does this wonderful thing where it takes you out of your current experiences and it places you in this, in my mind, what it was like I was in this hectic, chaotic world, right? And then as soon as I started playing the game, all of that stuff started to just fade away. It just got quiet. And then I started to like visually, right? If I could set the stage visually, all the stuff started to disappear around me. A rug appeared under me, right? A lamp or a plant came down. The lights came down a little bit low. The glow from the TV kind of hit me or whatever. And then it's just you and this experience.
You hit
and
a flow state.
Like. Yeah.
I agree with you what you were saying backstage
really
about how you sit down to play for maybe an hour and all of a sudden you realize 4 hours went by.
Gone.
Yeah. That's a flow state, and that can that can help with all kinds of stuff. You lose track of time, you cannot feel pain, because you're literally absorbed in another world. That you know.
And I think for me, it's important. Whether people know it or not, I play games and I enjoy a lot of different things, but because of the way my life is structured, I don't have that time. I have to save certain things for like the nighttime when everybody's asleep, and I have to stay up, who knows how long to get certain things done because of the way my life is structured. But for that game, I said backstage, I made time for that game yesterday. Extra. I made sure that none of that stuff around me.
You popped in and told us. You popped in and told us, I don't know if I'm going to have time. And then Perp started telling you about the game. And you're like, oh, I'm making time.
Yeah. So Stadia was acting really weird to me. And it just wouldn't let me log into the game. And it was just all these different things going on. And so I found a way to jump in and play it. And so I played it last night. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure I get this done because I have to play this game. And I sat down and my daughter was running around and she was doing her thing. My mom and my mother-in-law and my wife were out there doing their thing. And then as soon as I put down my controller, I looked at the clock and it was like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Wow.
And
that's when you know that you've spent some quality time with the product.
Yeah. My daughter was asleep. She's in her bed. She's asleep. And I'm like, what is going on? But it was that kind of experience. I didn't even, none of that, not in a bad way, none of that mattered, right? it's a really, really good game. It's a really, really good game. And just like Purple also echoed, it just is an experience. It really is.
Yeah. And Whit, thank you for dropping by. She has a comment here, and I think it's exactly true, right? And it's basically saying, I don't know if y'all have ever played Animal Crossing's New Horizons, but I feel like although they have similar elements in some ways, I feel like the story-driven approach of Spiritfarer is so much more engaging. And I 100% agree with, as always, you're always on point with your comments. Uh, but it's true. I mean, they are both like kind of pleasing to the eye. They both have that ability to kind of get you in that flow state as you're playing. But there's something about the story in Spiritfarer, like for one, there's multiple stories going on at the same time, and that element of it makes it very personalized element, as where you start to reflect on, I think, yourself. I think each of the stories, like I kind of reflected on myself in a way. But no, it's a great comment. But we haven't even talked about some of the other elements of the game that I think are amazing. We talked about the hand-drawn aspect of it, but the watercolor aspect of it, like so
Ooh.
the game is like brilliant colors. The way they describe it as well. If you have to use alt text, is also an amazing way to experience the game. And it's just each color like really starts to represent something. I mean, everything down to the rooms and the different places you go. So there's different types of environments. Some of them are cold, some of them are hot, some of them are city, some of them are country. Like there's so many different environments, and the characters you meet. So I don't know what y'all thought about it. I know Mayne and LoFi, y'all put some serious time into it as well. But to me, I thought that was a very unique thing in a game to do. Like sometimes you see this in movies where, what is it? I can't think of The Fifth Element or Sixth Sense. Like they have the color red is represented something in that movie if you've watched it.
Yep.
But in this one, like the entire spectrum is really representative of something. But I don't know what y'all thought about the colors in the game.
Ooh, shout out to Neo Sigembato. I think I'm saying that right. Just entered the super chat raffle.
Oh,
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? As far as the colors, I haven't gotten that deep to where they talk about the significance of the colors. But even then, that was one of the things that I picked up on. So I built Gwen's house, and even the color palette in there, it something like kind of like stuck out. Like, okay, so there's something there too. There's something to that purple that she has for there, and then there's something to the other colors that I'm seeing. I'm around certain places in certain areas, the loom and all those different things. So I know that there's going to be some significance that I'm going to check out soon. But I think that the colors, just if you step away from the presentation and just talk about the symbolism, I can already tell like there's a lot of that there. And I love games that do
There's
that.
levels to this.
Yes,
Levels.
you know what I mean? So there's a lot of that. And I think that they're onto something. I'm sure, again, when I put more time in, I'll get to that part. But I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I did start to pick up on cues. It's just that they haven't explained it that where I'm at in the game. So I feel like colors are going to play a really, really important role in this game moving forward.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Without giving spoilers away, what part of this game touched you the most? And this may be a hard question to answer, but
Ooh, purple.
The aspect we haven't talked about.
oh, great segue then.
So like, Mayne, we both have this eclectic. You mentioned it first, I think, when you were playing Trek to Yumi, and I think I watched you play the entire playthrough on your channel of that game, and you said eclectic taste. And one of the things that makes games very unique for me, even though some people, the limitless gamer or whatever he calls himself, says I don't care what I play, I actually do care quite a bit about what I play. I like unique experiences, and one thing that puts me in that mode is the score of the game. meaning like the not the soundtrack, right? Difference between a soundtrack and a score. Soundtrack is usually just popular tunes and stuff that they put, but a score is something that's actually built for that experience. And
Right.
the
Think of
score,
It's
Star
more than
Wars
one
or-
song. It's
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
a
yeah.
whole package.
When you hear it, like Jaws, right? You know what
Know
this
it,
is
yeah.
about, right? It puts you in a mood. It puts you in the
When you hear the
score-
Michael Myers music, you know what's going down.
Exactly. Scores are amazing, right? And I
Yes.
think media has started to move away from it. That's a different topic altogether. But this game embraces it full-heartedly. And I think once I heard this song, it's especially like one of the first characters you encounter a tool, and just that excitement of a thunderstorm that he gets, and
Oh
doing
yes.
and it just is, you just hear this, when the thunder hits, and you're just like,
Oh my gosh.
it gets you going.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you, like when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, I gotta experience that again, because it just is such a cool experience. And I think the music in this game, really, when you add it onto the color, when you add it onto the narrative, it really is what brings that bow on the entire game that just would
Yes.
not be there.
Yes,
Right,
absolutely.
but I want to hear the other people, what y'all's thoughts
Well,
are.
score is extremely important. Think of the Lord of the Rings and take the music, the grand lifts and
Oh
you know,
man.
and
The peaks and
lows they get.
valleys? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Take all
yeah,
that
man.
away, and
Oh.
it just doesn't have the same gravity. You know what I
It
mean?
really
Yeah,
doesn't.
how boring would Jaws be if you just saw?
Oh my gosh.
You have to have that da
or like a Jurassic Park, right? So things like that, moments like that. But for me, to touch on what you were saying, Purple, I can't say how many moments already I've stopped what I was doing because a tool was like, there's a thunderstorm. I'm like, oh, let me stop what I'm doing. And I run over to him because there's something that accompanies the thunderstorm. But those moments, and it feels like this entirely different, like, experience, like a different game, almost, kind of like different moments in those kind of times where you're out there on a boat and then you're like, oh, there's a storm coming, there's a storm here, and ask you a question, and then there's this other element that ensues that you could take part in. And I love that, and the music that accompanies with it is, man, it's great. But I would say, to me, the one thing that's probably impacted me the most so far, as much as I love music, I love the art style, I think the writing is impactful to me. It's the stories that are told and the conversations that you either overhear or that you have with the characters themselves, just to get a deeper sense of who these people are. And it really drives home what your job is as a Spiritfarer. And you really start to, like, for me, I would have a conversation with a tool, or I would have a conversation with Gwen or Summer. And even then, through the dialogue, I'm asking, okay, there's something here. Like, okay, where's this going? There's something about this. Could this be it? Could this be the moment? Could this be the time? Or just figuring out why they don't like doing things like that, like certain things. Why they don't like to talk about certain aspects of their life or their past. That's, I think, is the most impactful, because to me, I played a lot of games that do have narratives, but it's something ultra personal about this game and the way that the writing is, that I think it also adds to that element of where it takes you out of this bubble, right? Or puts you in this bubble, so to speak. And that, to me, is the most important thing, I think, just to see the things that they've said, the things they're going through, what they're going through, why they're going through them. That, to me, is like the most impactful thing to me so far, in addition to the hug mechanic, because that's, I mean, come on. It's hugs. Free hugs for everybody.
Hand-drawn hugs, man. Come on.
Come on.
And I want to answer Primo's question.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, you can, and depending on how many you can max out at the same time, you'll get an achievement on Stadia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you'll get a little achievement.
That's
when you
Nice.
max a certain number out at the same time. So that you can.
LoFi, what did you think of the score, real quick? I want to jump back to another one of Primo's comments. He says, I love the mini games in Spiritfarer, something I wished AC and H had more of.
That's what the game has a simple idea, but there's all these little parts, and
Oh yeah.
each little part has its own mechanics. Like if you want to go to the map and travel somewhere, it has its own little mechanics for that. When you go to your garden to grow, there's mechanics to that. There where you place
Fishing.
your building, fishing.
Oh,
There-
there's fishing in the game. Okay,
Oh my
I'm buying it
gosh.
now.
It's
Now I'm
fishing
buying
in
It's simple, but there's levels to it.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. The thing that gets me about this game is like I would have passed it up if it wasn't for the
Yeah.
fact that it went on sale when it did a few months back. I would have passed it up. I wouldn't even look at this game. And after I got into it and started talking about it with Perp, I was just like, this game's gonna be amazing. Like on Pro, they dropped Welcome to Elk this month, and I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's not my type of game." It's in the same vein as this. It's not really, I guess. Well, I don't know. I don't want to spoil that game, but if you like Spiritfarer, you'll probably like Welcome to Elk, and if you don't like Welcome to Elk, try Spiritfarer. It might change your mind about that whole genre of game.
Absolutely. And I think we talked about fishing really quick. One of the things that I like the most, and it's really small, but it's one of those things that I kind of like really honestly went, they added that. Like it's very small. When you fish, right? So there's a part of the boat that you can walk to the back of the boat and you can sit down and you'll cast. There's a mechanic, right? The fact that Stella crosses her ankles when you toss out the line, like just something small like that, right? To add personality, she's her own person. She's an actual character. This is not just a person that just does, traditional mechanic A, the traditional mechanic B. She sits down, she gets her rod, she tosses it out, and those ankles cross, and I'm like, oh, she's comfortable as hell. Like this, like that to me, like it's so many of those little small details that just really help you enjoy the game. You can't, like, how can you not like this game? It's one of those kind of things. They do these little things just like every time you do something, like it's so endearing and like I said, heartwarming. And when she catches something and she pulls it up, you feel excited. Like she has this look on her face, like I did it. And you're like, you did. You caught that damn boot. You caught the hell out of that damn boot. Like it's those moments, man. It's just so small but impactful.
I thought a really cool moment to that as well. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, Mayne, but when the spirits are talking, sometimes you're like, all right, get to the point, and you're kind of like, like trying to hurry up and get to the point.
Are they a little long-winded sometimes, are they?
Some can be a little bit.
So some of them can be definitely long-winded. Some of them are very short, but some of them are. And you're like, okay, get to the point. And if you go a little too fast, because I've tried this now, because I tested it. I went back and played and tested it. Stella actually will get like a look like she's annoyed.
Oh, because you're skipping too fast. She's not keeping up.
She'll get
wow.
but she'll show it to the spirit, and so you're kind of like, oh my gosh, this person's actually telling me something really serious, and they're about to die. Maybe I need to slow down, and then so it's stuff like that.
Oh,
that
Stella.
I think it's just across the board in the game. That is just like, oh my god, because it makes you like kind of slow down.
Yes.
And then once again have appreciation for, we've all had that old person just talking.
Oh yeah.
And we're just like, oh, and then you kind of get this like, and Stella does it in the game. You see it and you kind of feel bad, and it makes you kind of just reflect. So it's one of
really cool.
Many of those things in the game that happen.
Yeah,
I love finding those little gems like that. Like this is a completely different game, but just as an example, I started Metro Exodus, and I go to this first like little temple place, and a guy's talking to me, and I'm like, huh? I smack him in the head. They all got aggro, and of course, but I didn't know I could do that. I thought I was there to fight, but anyway, I love that, and I love finding these gems like this title. On Stadia, there's so many of them, man, that can be overlooked. Like Welcome to Elk. I'm gonna play through that whole title. I watched Ray play a little bit of it, and it is a very interesting title, to say the least.
Yeah, that's another game where it's based on real stories about real people, and it's I did not expect that game to be what it was.
Yeah, and I
Same
think
as Spiritfarer.
to your point, SPG, that's another reason why we do this show, right? To highlight games like these, to put these kinds of games on other people's radar that they may not otherwise come across. And that's one of the reasons why I'm grateful for this show, because that's what this allows us to do, is allows us to say, hey, there's these games in this library that you guys may not be aware of. And like, you know, this game has a 30-minute trial. You know what I mean? So it's like there's like a lot of the other games on there. So it's like there's a lot of different games out there that I think some people, like we mentioned, we gloss over, we don't even pay attention to. And then we come in and I'm like, hey, no, come back a little bit. There's a few of these over here that you might have missed. Check them out.
And the fantastic thing is you've got nothing to lose. Just go check it out for 30 minutes.
That's
it.
That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sanchez.
Sanchez Gaming, wonderful.
Thank you, Sanchez. Thank you.
Thank you. Always coming. But I do want to warn some people, if you did not know, once you press go on that
yes, please tell them.
Press go on that trial,
is it a timer? Like no matter if you're playing it or not,
it's not.
It's running.
So any of the trials, at least that I've seen, once you press go and you're like, okay, I played it for like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Let me come back because I have an hour. I'll come back in an hour. It's gone. So when you sit down to play it, make sure
it makes sense though if you know about Stadia's session times and how that works. It makes sense that's why it goes down like that. But they need to fix that.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just. I had heard a close friend of mine, and they were like, "What happened to my trial?" But
I made that mistake.
Yeah. Now, see, sometimes it's different. Like that massive multiplayer sports game that came out. We got 2 hours of that, but it didn't. It actually went minute to minute while you played instead of just clicking the timer and then running out. So,
really?
But that's good to know though that if you want to check out Spiritfarer, play it for that 30 minutes or you'll lose it.
and usually the timers kind of and shout out to Primo because I know he's beat it. He's giving you all amazing tips out there for the people. Keep them coming, Primo, because I know you played it. But the thing I want to say is sometimes the timers like correlate to how long the game is. So Little Nightmares, for example, I think that's another 30-minute trial, and it is only like a 3.5-4 hour game. Spiritfarer is a 30-minute trial, but if you really, really play the game, now he played it with yourself, or at least with me, it's about a 30-hour game, 35-hour game. So you are not like, you're definitely getting your money's
It's
worth.
not a shorty.
It is not by any means. Like I sometimes indie games are like kind of on the shorter side. This one is, like I said, it is a long one. Even if you know how to do management sims and you can like, let me increase my capacity earlier so I can do blah blah blah, and you kind of know some of that, this game's still gonna take you a second. Even later on in the game, you can like kind of teleport across the map. Like it's just gonna take you a second. And
Riders Republic. Thank you, Primo. That was the name of that game. And he said it was a 4-hour trial, not a 2. Go ahead, Purple.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
There's another 4-hour one that just came out as well.
Wow.
I can't remember which one it was.
It's a beefy trial.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like the 30 minutes, it gets you in the game. You're gonna probably meet Gwen. You may do something.
Yep.
That's about it. But that's
that trial's over. You're just like, wait, what?
But that's not indicative of the game. So I really, really, in my review,
do you think that's a nice size bite chunk to get somebody excited to play it, or they need a little more than that? Should they have given you an hour?
I honestly think they should give you a little more.
Yeah.
Because of what?
Not much.
Not much. I'll probably say, if anything, maybe, what would you say? You say 45, like another 15 minutes would give you an idea? What would you say? I would think so.
Yeah.
By 30 minutes, I was like, I wanted more, but I was like, well, damn. Like if you want the game and you can't buy it for whatever reason at the moment, oh, you're SOL. Especially if the game puts its hooks in you.
Yes.
Oh man, like you're gonna want more. And 30 minutes, I think, is too short of a chunk to give you.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Primo said, it will hook you. But at that point, you better be ready to buy.
Fork out
Just
that
buy.
money.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna let all three of you guys give your final thoughts on the game real quick before we give our shout outs and all the other stuff going on in the PNTS network. Go ahead, Purple. Carried away.
Yeah, so I love the game. Like I said, I spent money on the vinyl. I bought the game full price. I bought the art book that also comes with it, where you can learn a little bit more about the journey to making Spiritfarer. I've reached out to some of the creators of the game. Really in love with this title all the way around. I give it, at the end of the day, and this is still pretty high because I realize that the game's not for everyone. Like I think like there's definitely, if you're not in the right place, you may get it you just may not find it interesting, or if you're not into management sims.
Right.
But I give this game around an 85, which is pretty high for me. Like considering I don't think any game is 100, let alone 95 or 100. So
Yeah.
85 is a pretty high score that I give it, and I think it is a if it intrigues you, buy it. I'm not like sure you can wait for it to go on sale,
Sure.
but I don't think it's a waste of money to
Well,
spend
not at
full
all.
price on the game.
You guys definitely convinced me to buy it because it deals with serious conversational topics like death and grieving. It also has fishing, man. Come on. I got to check
Right.
it out. So 8.5 out of 10?
Yeah.
8.5
Awesome.
clouds?
Yeah. Nice.
8.5 clouds.
Go ahead, Mayne.
Go ahead, LoFi. Go ahead, take it away.
Well, I was gonna say, for me, it's we got a thing that we like to say is the try, buy, or pro. It's a buy, man. I would like to see it come to pro, just so everybody could enjoy it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Because it's not like the game you're gonna call your homeboys over like, dude, we're about to play some Spiritfarer, bro.
Right. We're about to get in deep. Yeah.
About to get in here. No, it's not like that. It's like, this is for you. This is for you, and almost like a mental health type situation. It's just good for your mind. It's good for your soul. Like, you can't often say that about a game.
That's honest. That's really true. I agree.
I would say this is a buy for me, a must buy, and I'm with Perp. It's I'm right there, somewhere in between 8 and 9 on my scale of 1 to 10.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a good score, man.
For myself, hated it, pass it. No, I'm just kidding. Are you serious? Like, really? Like, hated it. No, but seriously, like this game is amazing. There's so much there to unpack and so much there to like. There's so much there to love. The mechanics, everything that you heard us talk about. It's one of those games. I think also I agree with LoFi. I even said it in our chat last night. Like, you might need to be alone for this one. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have even if you want to play it first before you bring in your children or things like that, sit down with this one. This one's just for you. You know what I mean? This is the special game, and I think that this is one of those things that I think, and I don't do this often, I think everybody should try. Everybody, even if it's not in your wheelhouse, especially if you have a 30-minute trial, try it.
Yeah,
just to see.
Yeah, they really need to bring it to pro.
Just to see, because I think we're like Purple also said, a lot of us are are middle aged or getting there, and I think that this is one of those experiences that I believe everybody should afford themselves to try. Times are different. The way we handle things are different. The way we see things and deal with problems and issues, things have changed, and I think that this is one of those games where it's therapeutic in a way, and LoFi was saying, it really can help you in a lot of ways and help you tackle and understand and digest certain things that you may not even address on your own. And I think that this is definitely one of those kinds of games that can help you, if not open the door, crack it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, turn the knob, I think. And I think that this is really, really important game. I'm definitely going to go back and finish it. Like, I'm going to finish it any way that I can, whether it's on my phone, my tablet. If I have to run it off my Steam Deck and stream it on Stadia, whatever I have to do, I need to play this game and I'm going to finish it because it's that good. It's that good. Please. I'm going to say it's a buy also for me, but also the trial's there. Try it, guys, and see if it's for you. And I also will agree too. I'll give it an 8.5 clouds out of 10.
Damn. You guys really like this game, man. I'm going to have to definitely pick it up. For all of you that are watching right now, go ahead and drop a hashtag CGR in the chat.
Yeah.
We are about to reveal our lucky winner of a $25
hashtag
Google,
CGR.
Absolutely. For a $25 Google Play card.
While they're doing that, do you mind if I run through some of the community announcements?
You go right ahead, sir.
All right, everybody get in that hashtag CGR. I'm gonna run through some stuff here. Super chat raffle, we talked about that. Extended till the end of August. Anyone who super chatted from July 1st to the end of August on the channel will be entered into the drawing. The drawing date is still yet to be determined. Be sure to check out pntsnetwork.com for articles. Perp has an article about this game, her review over there. Be sure to check that out. Read that.
It'll be up later tonight. Later tonight it'll be up.
Oh, later tonight.
Might as well.
I messed up. I need to edit some stuff, but it'll be up later.
Still, go to pntsnetwork.com. Check them out. Make sure to subscribe to Stadia Dosage on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter. Hashtag CGR to get that $25 holla in the chat.
$25 holla.
There's 1,000 days of Stadia coming up. Stadia is turning 1,000 days old, August 15th. You can go to stadiadosage.com. They're setting up a 24-hour live stream. So if you're a content creator and you want to be a part of the 24-hour live stream, go there. You can sign up. You can pick what times you're available. And it's going to be a great time. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on throughout the community that day. The other big news we have is community championships. It's week 3. This week's challenge is Crata. There's an optional side challenge where you can win $50 this week. There's still time to join. It's a cumulative score across all these different games over the weeks. The grand prize is going to be $500, and the runner-up will win $250. You can check that out on stadiadosage.com. And all the panel members here have links down in the description. Be sure to check us out and subscribe to us too. And yeah, that's it, man. I hope everybody got their CGRs in chat.
All right, we're going to go ahead and roll this and see who won.
Here we go.
So here comes off the cutoff for the win. So let's see who wins. Boom! Baron Keither is our winner.
So we want to wait for Baron to say something in chat or
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
We'll wait for
just put in the hashtag CGR. Right around Rooster, Crow, Resin, Francis, Judith.
Yep, holla, Baron.
All of them are right there at that last minute, so you got it right then, Baron.
Yeah, we need to hear from you. Say something in chat again.
Yeah, say something in chat and then send me a DM and we will get you your code.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Congrats, Baron. Congrats on the win.
What? Okay, so DM SPG on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Stadia Pro Gaming.
Very simple.
Yes.
Very simple. Very, very, very
Congratulations.
simple.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, for anyone who's
also,
I want to just say, even though this is, I know we've been saying like go play the trial. I'm very aware that maybe some people are just like, I like this game. I saw y'all were doing a review. What do you mean by a trial? A Stadia trial? And
yeah,
so I think you put it down in the description, right, LoFi?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you don't need a console, you don't need anything fancy. You don't
have to even sign up.
You don't have to sign up. All you have to do is click that link down below. You'll be sent to go play a 30-minute trial of the game for free, no obligations, no anything. And at the end of it, if you want to buy it, you'll get the option to buy it.
Right.
But
and if you don't know what that means, that means that you're going to click this link. There's going to be a button that says play, and it's going to start playing. You're not going to download anything. You're not going to install anything. You're not going to sign up for anything. As long as you have a mouse and keyboard, you're good to go. If you have even better if you have a controller plugged into your computer.
So
that's it. It's that simple.
It's that simple, and you can just go ahead and play phone, tablet, computer, and whatnot. So I just want to put that out there in case there's some people who are like, I've heard about this game. I just typed it. I saw you were doing a review. Like I said, this entire panel, even in chat, the people who've played it, all think it's a wonderful experience, wonderful game. You're gonna be pleasantly surprised with it. I don't even think I've oversold it. I think if anything, I've undersold it because it's that great of an experience.
Oh, we didn't
Yeah.
oversell anything.
And it's one of those games. It's gonna hit everybody different. Everybody that plays it,
Yes.
it's gonna hit you differently.
Yes.
And please, and you really got to, I continue to say this, you really have to play this one all the way through to really get the full impact of it. I mean, you're going to
Yeah.
get it immediately right off the bat, but if you go all the way through, you are going to then see why. Like, I'll say it like this. I was at work. I had this conversation with someone. I said, hey, I play video games. They're like, I don't really play video games. I was like, oh, just talking. And then they said, the only game I've ever played is Spiritfarer. And I've played it 4 times. And each time it's brought me to tears. And I was like, oh my gosh, I played Spiritfarer. Needless to say, I was able to get my department some must-needed supplies and things that we would not have gotten otherwise without this person's help. And so it brought us together at my office, got some resources, got some head count. He was like, you can have, like, eventually gave me some head count for some stuff. So it brought people together. It is
the tie that binds.
Game. Yeah, and as an indie game, it sold over 1 million within the first 14 months, 1 million copies. It is phenomenal. And I wish I could bring them to Shades of Purple. I wish, but they unfortunately said that.
It's reviews like these on these Stadia indie games that, like, you got to understand, man. Just because you're seeing a lot of indie, the games are excellent. Like, they're really good games over here.
I mean, and a lot of people stick their nose up at indie titles. Not everyone, but a lot of people do. They say, hey, it's not the biggest, the greatest, I'm going to skip it. But there's so many of these very interesting.
I would have passed this game up if it hadn't gone on sale, and it wasn't because my nose is up at indie games, but games like these are like kind of hidden treasures in a way. You don't really see them promoted. So.
Absolutely.
And I think
100%
also
agree.
I think also that for me personally, I do play bigger budget titles, but I could say that the past year I probably played through and enjoyed more indies than I have in a long time. Games like Wavetail, Trek to Yomi. This game I'm sure we're going to finish. Even games outside of this ecosystem like Eastward and just other type of indies. That it seems like my focus is now to these sorts of games that I've had my share of the bigger budget titles, and I know they're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. But for the meantime, between time, I want to give some love and some attention to these guys who were kind of like peeking out from behind the shadow, waving. You know what I mean?
Well, they just dial in.
I see you. And that's where I'm at right now, and it. Oftentimes than not, I'm more excited with the takeaway after I've played them, or even during the time that I have with them. So I think that's one of those things that I think people should really, I wouldn't say change their perception, but just be more open to allowing these titles to show up on your radar.
Yeah,
that's another cool thing with Stadia. That's another cool thing with Stadia. You got these click-to-play trials. You're not really seeing these kind of demos anywhere else, especially click-to-play. That doesn't exist anywhere else. But, I mean, I don't know another place where I can go and demo indie games and give them a shot, And they're curated, so you already know they're highly, touted games before you even try them. So
that's the one thing about Stadia. You can almost guarantee that I think is the best curated list in gaming right now. Does not get enough recognition. I understand doesn't have all the great big hits, but
it doesn't. But that's where it comes to, like, a game. You might not like the game, but somebody likes the game. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be here because it's, like I said, it's always highly rated games.
And I'm still a pro member, man. So they keep giving me gems that I want to play through every month. Maybe not 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 5, but at least one title I have to play. Like Saints Row the Third. I didn't buy it. I played through the 4th one, not the 3rd one, so I'm game.
I bought it just before it went pro.
and you know what? I think that's another thing too, right? And I think that for me, the way I look at things now, and this is regardless of any ecosystem that you may be on. If any game has any ecosystem has a list of games, I believe that out of that entire list, my philosophy is any game on that list is somebody's potentially favorite game. You know what I mean? And looking at it that way, it helps to put things in perspective. Even if you may not understand why that title's there. Somebody out there is like, I can't believe they put that game there. I absolutely love that game. Or they may try it and it becomes their favorite game. So I think that's another thing too that I find important, especially now, is that any game, any list, anywhere could be somebody's favorite game of all time.
I believe we're out of time and we're going to be ending the show, but I want to thank PurpleHaze and Mayne and LoFi for you guys' passion. It clearly showed today, man. This game, I am going to buy it now. I have to.
Yes, we got them.
Got it. So we can talk.
Yeah.
I want people to talk about the game because there's so much I can't talk about. I don't want to ruin it, but I really want to talk about this game.
I'm gonna reach out to you in 15 minutes to see how far you've gotten. So how's it coming? How's it going? You're like, man, leave me alone. All right, I'll come back in another 15 minutes. No.
Okay, LoFi, if there's any more announcements you want to shout out, man, go ahead and do that, man. We're about to end this, sir.
Just be on the lookout for Perp's article. Join the community championship. If you're a content creator, sign up for the 1,000 Days of Stadia 24-hour stream. If you're a viewer, be on the lookout for the 24-hour stream coming up. It's all being put together by Clive and Four Scars. It's going to be amazing. Check out everybody's links in the description. Subscribe to everybody. I'm only 6 subscribers away from 200. Help me out, bye.
Let's get man.
And Mayne's article. Both Mayne and I do articles.
Yes.
We do. So be on the lookout. I know LoFi gave me a shout, but Mayne has an article too coming out.
I do.
Okay.
I do. That'll be up today as well. But honestly, if you can, there's one thing I would like to do. They actually stole it from me. And this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Can you put up the comment that Mostly Martinez just put up? That right there is exactly my philosophy. And I think that was well said. And it reads, not all games are for everyone, but all games are for someone. That right there might be how I might end my streams and my stuff from here on out, if I may. That's great.
That's amazing.
Now he's a Star Wars fanatic, so he has that Yoda power right there. Mostly Martinez, shout out. Great to have you in the community. Great to have his son in the community. If you have not the most adorable kids,
don't try it, Mayne. He has the high ground.
Right. The high ground he has.
Thank all of you for joining us today for another episode of Cloudy Game Reviews here on the PNTS Network. We appreciate you all so very much, and we will see you in not this Saturday coming up, but the following one.
Yes.
Another game review.
Yes.
Peace.
Later,
Peace, everybody. Later.